nut cross. Yeah, it's kind of how I feel when I'm looking at this guitar that we've got here to work on. I don't know what this thing has seen, but it's seen a lot of it. What we have here is I believe, and I'll confirm this later, maybe a 1980, somewhere around there, Les Paul Firebrand. Grover tuners on this thing. I'll have to look at those. Anyway, I don't know what all this is. Hair bands. Maybe they put those over the nut. Maybe they did some tapping. I don't know, but this is what we have to work on. So we're going to tear into this thing, see what's wrong with it. We got a couple complaints. One being, I think, maybe a dirty switch or a non-function switch or something. And another thing, I think, being action. We're going to put some of these guys on there. 9s on a Les Paul. Boy, with that scale length, this thing is going to be easy to play. But I think that's what they want. From my understanding is it's a very low action. So not something in the way that I play. But this is a Les Paul Firebrand from the 80s, I believe. It's a mahogany body, mahogany neck with an ebony fretboard. So we'll get that thing nice and cleaned up and shiny with some linseed oil. We are going to clean this thing up. Apparently I had carte blanche on that aspect of it. So we'll get this thing nice and cleaned up. Maybe we'll even paint that so-called pick guard. This is not original. It was added afterwards, obviously, if you know anything about these guitars. Hey, and these are T-tops. Hopefully there's a velvet brick in here. The mythical velvet brick. Anybody knows what that is? But let's tear into it and see what we got. Okay, well, we've got her on the bench here. Let's see what we can do. Basically, I think we're just going to... I've already kind of just looked around. Action is really low. I don't know. I mean, first we're going to need to make sure the truss rod works. Looks like we're missing a screw here on this pickup. So I think first thing first, let's get rid of these strings and see what we got. Maybe some super fast mode. If you're familiar with this kind of stuff, you don't want to cut your strings off under tension. It can have devastating effects on your tuning gears. Imagine, it's under tension, all this tension, sitting there and static, and then you're all of a sudden put it in motion and with some violence there. But anyway, let's cut these things off. All right, some craziness up here. Save these to the client. Maybe they still want them. We'll find out. So basically, I've got $100. Anything under $100 I can just do, but anything over that, then I have to consult with the person who's asked me to do this. So hopefully there won't be any cost, parts or anything. I mean, gonna need a screw there, but hopefully it's just cleaning it up, do some adjustments. Clean some pots, clean switches, things like that. Hopefully there's nothing major wrong with it, pickups, that kind of stuff. We'll be good to go, hopefully. I don't know why these are wound this way, but it's a pain in the neck. What is this on here for? Oh, what a pain in the... I don't understand this. Put strings on, cut the excess, and don't wind it up like that. What if you had to change this when you're in a gig or something? Boy, this would be a nightmare trying to do quick. Maybe this is how Eric Clapton used to do it, and that's why they called him Slow Hand. Anybody knows that story? I'm not going to repeat it, it's all over the place. Anyway, hey, strings are off, and my goodness, this thing has been played, I think. Or somebody very dirty played it, maybe. But we'll get it all cleaned up here. Sat down here a little farther out of camera. And with this scratching up all my guitars here, should have wound them up. Got lazy. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Alright, definitely ebony. Definitely dirty. Let's crack into this. I'm just scratching my nipples here on camera. That's real nice. Let's crack into this truss rod here and see what we got. See if the thing will turn easily. Make sure nothing's wrong with it. I like having these Altoid tins around when you're working on something like this, you can just, and I put a piece of tape in there backwards like this, like a double-sided tape, ideal with regular masking tape. And then when I take off the screw, I can just set it down in there. And I'm, oh, there's something written in here. Who's BH? Your initials are in here, BH. Like if I'm taking a pick guard off on a Stratocaster, I'll put the screws in clockwise, starting from this side, if you imagine a pick guard on a Strat, around, and I'll put them in here in that order, so I put them back exactly how they were taken off. Well, let's see here. Yeah, it moves. It's not moving freely. I would say truss rod feels pretty good. Here we go. See if I can get this up here for you to see. Oh, yeah, there you are. LP Firebrand. Okay, let's get this thing cleaned up. All right, what I use when I'm cleaning up, I just use this, which I might have showed before. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just simple green. This is all-purpose cleaner, or I would use just about anything. But I watched Davy's World of Fun stuff, and he was using this, and I thought, well, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. Same way with the linseed oil. But it's biodegradable. It's, you know, I don't think you'd want to eat it, but it's good for this stuff. I just spray it on the rags. I don't get a lot of overspray everywhere else. And then I just go at it here. I'm just going to do a quick wipe down of this. You don't want a lot of excess, obviously. You just want to, you know, it's in life. I think it's a good lesson. Just, you know, use what you need. Too much of a good thing or anything is bad, in my opinion. Maybe not guitars. Yeah. I saw a cool shirt the other day. It was, I've got too many guitars, and then in small letters below it said something no one has ever said, and I thought, or no man has ever said. That's the truth there. I've got guitar acquisition syndrome myself. Oh well. All right, let's get this baby cleaned up. Super fast mode. Oh, bring you back down here. This is not coming off. Is this like a tone, or is it just? Oh, it's just. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I'm going to need a tetanus shot after working on this thing. Look at this. I don't know. Can you see that? No, you can't. That's all right. Just trust me. It's dirty. I'm going to need my brush. All right. I'm not going to bore you with all this, so back to super fast mode. I assume you can see this. This is what came off the fretboard. And this wasn't all. This was just the beginning. I mean, yeah, as Jimmy Fallon would say. I don't think I did that right. So we've cleaned it up. Cleaned up the fretboard. Got that muck off there. We fixed some issues with the finish on the back of the neck.